Hello there, I'm Lloyd Evans and you're watching the John Cedars channel from the bunker, and in this video we have another voicemail. This one is from Justin. Let's hear what Justin has to say.
Hey Lloyd, my name is Justin. I'm disfellowshipped. I'm from Texas, and from listening to your story, it sounds like I was disfellowshipped maybe a couple of months after you. But the difference in us is, from what I've heard of you, and I've heard a lot of your content now, it sounds like you woke up a long time before I did, at least fully. I kind of still had a foot in the door for a bit, even after getting disfellowshipped. I tried to get reinstated for probably about a year and a half. And up to this point, now I'm obviously 100% out mentally and in every way. And a lot of your content has helped with that. So wanted to thank you for that. But that's not the point of the voicemail. I wanted to ask you and just put this out there on the on your channel, because I feel like a lot of people may be feeling the same way as me. I feel quite a bit of hatred towards the organization. Not in a dangerous way, like I'm gonna go, kill somebody or do something crazy. But it bothers me on a regular basis. It can just completely engulf all my feelings and my day of just being stuck thinking about how much I hate the organization. Like yourself, I don't really hate members of the organization because, their mind is not their own. I hate the governing body and, people like that, the higher ups who are really pulling the strings in all this. And even being fully out, it's hard to deal with. It's I don't like that it just completely takes over me sometimes, and it's all I can think about. And I don't know how much you've dealt with this. You seem like a calmer man than myself. You seem to deal with it pretty well, even though I know you probably have felt this. I know that your dad doesn't speak to you, and because of all that, your grandkids haven't met their grandparents, and I think that's really up. So I know you've probably dealt with it too, but I just wanted to put it out there. If you end up posting this on your channel, maybe seeing some comments from people who feel the same way as I do, because it really sucks, and I don't want it to continue to make me feel this way. I would like to find some way of kind of getting past it, and maybe, I don't think I'll ever fully get over this and never feel these things again. But it happens on an irregular enough basis to where, look, I'm leaving you this voicemail because I don't know what else to do. I guess maybe it would help you in answering the question to know why I feel so much hatred. I'm sure you can make some safe assumptions. I have quite a bit of family who is shunning me. I worry for a lot of my really young family members who I know, not currently are going to Kingdom Halls, but will be again at some point. I have family who I'm sure is going to have kids, and I don't want them to get molested. I don't want them to get taken advantage of. I don't want my family to die over stupid bullshit blood transfusion rules. So, those are the kind of things I think about, and it just builds up and can end up taking over my whole day sometimes, like I said. So if you have any advice, or any of your viewers have any advice on dealing with this, it is much appreciated. Keep up the great work, man. And Appreciate all your content.
Thank you so much, Justin. That was an amazing voicemail. Amazing because you've been very open there, very honest and transparent about what you're going through. You've shared really what you've lost. And I think there is immense merit in people like yourself speaking out about what they've lost. Because it's only by fully understanding this that we can come to terms with what we've lost, reconcile with that sense of loss, and also warn people who might be on the fence about joining, or who might be for the first time starting to wonder whether it's worth questioning their beliefs. If they can understand what this organization is doing to people and the way it's affecting people, well, this is going to ease their decision. So I'm always filled with admiration for anyone, whether it's an abuse survivor or just someone like yourself who's struggling with shunning. I'm always filled with admiration for anyone who speaks out. So well done. I guess the most urgent piece of advice I would have for you, you can probably tell what I'm going to say. I think you need to consider your options for professional help. Professional help is always needed when the sense of loss and the sense of pain becomes unbearable or it consumes you. And you used the word engulf. You said it engulfs all my feelings. Well, if you're engulfed by something, that means you're not in control. So the point at which you need to get help to manage your feelings and manage the way you're responding to this loss is to seek the help of a professional. I'm not a professional. I make information available to people, and hopefully that information helps people to make informed decisions about the way forward for them. I am definitely not a mental health professional. So the first and most pressing and overriding piece of advice I would have, and I'm sure it's not easy, or at least I know in many countries or many states, seeking out mental health, well, first of all, it's not always cheap, is it? Quite often it's expensive. But in my book, How to Escape, in fact, bear with me one moment. Sorry, R2. Here we are, Chapter 8, Seeking Professional Help. And I quote from Bonnie Zeman, who I've had on the channel. She is an ex-Jehovah's Witness and also a professional mental health expert. And I quote from Bonnie's book. So I'm quoting from my book, quoting from Bonnie's book, because it was a really helpful little piece of information for those who may find it difficult to access mental health because they perhaps think, oh, this is going to be really expensive. I'm just going to put that on hold. I think that's a dangerous kind of mindset to slip into. It could well be true that it's not possible to get hold of a counsellor or therapist. But anyway, let me read to you what Bonnie had to say. If money is a consideration, you can try to find a university hospital, or a psychotherapy training centre where student therapists about to graduate are beginning to see clients. Because they are still students and need to practice their new skills with actual clients, they sometimes offer their services at reduced rates or even on a sliding scale based on your ability to pay. While they may not be versed in cult deprogramming techniques, they will provide a non-judgmental ear and some tried and true ways to manage your anxiety. So look into what opportunities there are or what resources there are locally to you It may be that it's a university or university hospital. It may be that there's some other initiative locally. But even if a therapist or counsellor isn't fully versed in what cults do, most counsellors or therapists understand loss and anxiety and being overwhelmed by negative feelings, and they can give you some techniques to navigate through those. Now, I have a few other things to say about your message, because you're right. I think lots of people will relate to what you're saying. I can relate to it because, as I've said before on my channel, being messed around by a group like Jehovah's Witnesses leaves you with a lot of anger. And that's okay. It's okay to be angry. There would be, I think, something a bit wrong if you're not angry about having been lied to and exploited, and about having your family lied to and exploited and weaponized against you. I'd be a bit uncertain as to your kind of emotional stability. I think it's obvious that we're going to feel angry, but will that anger spill over into hatred? Will that anger consume us? I'm thinking about is it a Phantom Menace quote? Yoda? Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. Anger's fine. Anger is totally understandable. Don't let it turn into hate, because hate is very dangerous. Hate can, and I know you said you're not planning on doing anything, but hate can result in some pretty nasty stuff happening. So if you can at least dial down the hatred to anger, you've got a path forward. You basically just need to find a way of channeling your anger in a healthy and positive way. And this, again, is where a professional therapist or a professional counsellor will be able to help you. They'll be able to come up with exercises or come up with suggestions as to how you can channel all of this anger that you have. I agree with you when you say that you'll never fully get over it. I think that's true. I think, at least in my own case, one of the most important milestones to reach in my own recovery from being in a cult was to understand that I am who I am because of my cult experience. In other words, I think there's a tendency sometimes for ex-cult members to think, I've got to purge everything about the cult from my psyche. I can't let myself remember it anymore. I've got to live the rest of my life in total denial that I spent years or decades in this group. I've just got to bleach everything that's remotely connected with that group from my subconscious. I don't think that's a healthy approach. I think that, at least in my case, it's been healthy to understand that yes, it happened. Yes, I was raised in a cult. Yes, they stole some of the most energetic, productive years of my life. Yes, they made me waste years of my life doing pointless things. And yes, they weaponized my family against me in the way that you point out, so that both of my children haven't met their grandfather. Yes, all of that's true. But here we are. I am who I am. And I would not be the same person if none of that had happened. If none of that had happened, would I be making this video? No. Would I have the same ideas in my head? Would I have the same personality, the same emotional makeup, the same resilience to bad things happening? the same wisdom, the same experience. In all of those areas, my life is irrevocably changed. And would I want it to be different? Would I want to purge all of that and be a different person? No, I am who I am. And who I am is due in large part to my cult experience. So you know what? I'm going to embrace it. So though you say that you're out, I think you said 100% out. I think it's possible to be, and obviously I don't want to say things about you that aren't true because I've never met you. I'm basing all of this, again, as a non-professional on just 4 minutes, 48 seconds of voicemail. I think it's possible to be out in terms of knowing that you were lied to, knowing that it's a cult, knowing that you definitely don't want to go back, but not out in terms of having healed, not out in terms of having reconciled your past with your present and who you are as a person now. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's, again, something where a professional, a mental health professional, will help you navigate those issues and navigate whether you are where you need to be in terms of your healing. Because it sounds to me like you haven't fully healed. Your 100% may apply to your intellectual distancing from the cult, but what percentage would we put on your healing? Would that be 100%? So, and can you even get to 100%? That's another issue, perhaps for another video. I'm not convinced you can even get to 100% healing, but there we go. Finally, on the subject of family, it seems a lot of your hatred, as you put it, stems from your family being weaponized against you in the form of shunning, and also, as you say, the potential for particularly the younger generation in your family to have terrible things happen to them. I'm in a similar situation. I have 2 nieces who have a good chance of being in the organization or being or spending their lives in the organization, should I say. Am I thrilled about it? No. But I'm learning, one of the things I've really had to learn in life, and it's still something I'm learning even at the age of 41, is to try not to get too worked up about things that are completely beyond your control. Okay? Save your emotional energy for things that you can control and for people who care about you. So if you have family members, or shall we say relatives, because that's what they are, they're relatives, who are treating you as though you don't exist, are they really your family? And do they deserve your care and your attention and your emotions when, for whatever reason, they are not in a position to reciprocate in those areas? In my own case with my father, I think it's true that time is a healer. At the time that the shunning starts, it can be very painful and very raw, very hurtful. But the more years go by, I think it's a survival mechanism emotionally that you just end up caring a little bit less with each passing year, to the point where maybe a decade's gone by and you're like, yeah, whatever. He's my dad, technically. He or she is my relative. Are they my family? No, because I make my own family, thank you. I surround myself with people I care about and who care about me. That's what my family is. I don't have to be married to them. They don't have to be my children. I don't have to be their children. But this is my sphere of influence. This is the circle that I care about. This is my family. This is my tribe. And these are the people who get my love, my care and attention. And I'm not going to worry unduly about everyone on the outside, because I'm not in control of that. It's the same thing with politics. Depending on what your political allegiances are, you could be distraught at the outcome of an election or a political development. Are you in control of it? No. Even if you voted, well done for doing your civic duty. Everyone really ideally needs to vote, because otherwise democracy doesn't work. But once you've done your duty, you're not in any control whatsoever, and yours is just one vote. So history is going to unfold, with or without you, as it is already unfolding, and you are just a passenger. You are a spectator on this planet. All you can afford to care about are the things that you can control. If you can't control it, try not to get too worked up. Focus on the things you can control. Focus on your true family, which are those people who care about you and will love you unconditionally. I don't know what your current situation is with family on the other side. It could be that you're living on your own. Maybe you're in a relationship. Maybe you're even married to someone on the outside. Either focus on them or focus on finding them. In other words, I think your path to healing is in understanding that everyone on the inside is essentially gone. Yeah. Maybe they'll reach out to you at some point. Maybe some of these younger generation will realize that they're in a cult and they'll reach out to you for help, and you'll immediately be there for them. That's a situation in which you have control. You don't have control until they come to you. So that's just those are just a few words of wisdom on the issue of family, because I do have, as you can see, a bit to say about it, because like you say, I'm in a similar situation and I've had a few years to contemplate these things. So maybe some of what I've just said there resonates. If it doesn't, or if I've communicated those things clumsily, I apologize. But in any case, consider your voicemail answered. And thank you once again, Justin, for being so brave and speaking out. I really do appreciate it. If you would like to follow in Justin's footsteps and leave your own voicemail, the way to do it is to visit speakpipe.com/Cedars. Again, I cannot in any way promise that I will personally respond to all voicemails. If for any reason you do not want your voicemail broadcast, please make this crystal clear when leaving it. I do try to at least listen to all voicemails, and if I think that your voicemail is suitable for a future video, I will obviously be including it. But that's all I have for you. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the John Cedars channel for more such videos, and as always, thank you for watching.